everyone, my name is Bakshi Puneet and today we will discuss about physical examination. As we all know that vital signs provide initial critical information that influences the tempo and direction of the evaluation. So vital signs include heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate and temperature. Today we will discuss about blood pressure, which is how to measure blood pressure using manual sphygmomanometer. So we are using two instruments. First is sphygmomanometer and the other one is stethoscope. So this is the sphygmomanometer. This is the cuff of the sphygmomanometer, and the length of the inflatable bladder of the cuff should be 80% of the upper arm circumference, and the width of the inflatable bladder of the cuff should be 40% of the upper arm circumference. And this is the meter which we uses to measure systolic and diastolic pressure reading. And the other device is stethoscope. This portion is called bell and the other portion is called diaphragm. Before proceeding to measure blood pressure, we should know what is blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force through which blood travels all over the body. It is the pressure which is going against the walls of the blood vessels. Blood pressure is generated by the circulatory system, which is heart. The normal value of the blood pressure is 120/80. 120 is called systolic pressure, which is the pressure when the heart contracts, and 80 is the diastolic value in which the heart relaxes. Okay, so I am just starting the process for measuring blood pressure. Now please focus.
Steps to ensure accurate blood pressure measurements. Patients should avoid smoking, caffeine, or exercise for 30 minutes prior to measurement. Examining room should be quiet and comfortably warm. Patients should sit quietly for 5 minutes in a chair with feet on floor. Arms should be free of clothing. Palpate the brachial artery to confirm a viable pulse and position the arm so that the brachial artery at the antebrachial crease is at the heart level, which is roughly at the fourth intercostal space at junction with sternum. If the brachial artery is below heart level, blood pressure reading will be higher, and if the brachial artery is above the heart, the reading will be lower. Now, with the arm at the heart level, center the inflatable bladder over the brachial artery. The lower border of the cuff should be about 2.5 cm above the antecubital crease. Secure the cuff snugly. Slightly flex the patient's arm at the elbow. While doing all these actions, you should first ask the patient, first, estimate the systolic pressure by palpation. As you palpate the radial artery with fingers of one hand, rapidly inflate the cuff until the radial pulse disappears. Read this pressure on the manometer and add 30 mmHg. Using this sum for subsequent inflation, prevent discomfort from unnecessary high cuff pressure. It also avoids an occasional error caused by an auscultatory gap, which is a silent interval that may be present between systolic and diastolic pressure. Now deflate the cuff promptly and completely and wait for 15 to 30 seconds. Now position the diaphragm of stethoscope over the brachial artery to measure the systolic and diastolic pressure. Now inflate the cuff again rapidly to target level, then deflate the cuff slowly at about 2 to 3 mmHg per second. Noting when you heard the sound of at least 2 consecutive beats, this is called systolic pressure. Now continue to deflate the cuff slowly until the sound becomes muffled or disappear. To confirm the disappearance point, listen as the pressure falls another 10 to 20 mmHg. Then deflate the cuff rapidly to 0. The disappearance point, which is usually only a few mmHg below the muffling point, provides the best estimate of a diastolic pressure. Please note that the silence in between the systolic and diastolic auscultating sound represents the artery occlusion, so there may be no flow, or either artery not compromised, so flow is free and inaudible. Auscultatory gap, which is a silent interval that may be present between systolic and diastolic pressure, may also present. Kortukov sounds are also heard at the point where systolic pressure exceeds the cuff pressure and the blood passes in a turbulent flow through partially constricted artery.
So this is the method how to measure blood pressure. Now wait for 2 or more minutes and take another reading. If there's a difference of 5 mm Hg or more, then just take another reading and mark the blood pressure as an average of these readings. You may see a difference of 5 mm Hg or up to 10 mm Hg when you just change the arm. So just don't confuse, just know this, okay? So the reading which I conclude from my measurement is 110 mm Hg as a systolic pressure and 70 mm Hg as a diastolic pressure. You can just rewind that part and you can see that there is a deflection in the meter which reflects the pressure reading for both of these. It should be noted that the normal reading for the blood pressure are maximum times less than 120 mm Hg of a systolic pressure and less than 80 mm Hg of a diastolic pressure. This is a systolic pressure reading and this is the diastolic pressure. Usually the blood pressure is written as systolic pressure oblique diastolic pressure. That means 120 oblique 80. For pre-hypertensive stage, the blood pressure, the systolic blood pressure is found in between 120 to 139 and the diastolic is found between 80 to 89. And in the hypertensive state, that means a person is suffering from hypertension, is ranging from more than 140, which is systolic pressure, and diastolic pressure should be more than 90. So this is all about blood pressure.